Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for WGXA News at 5. I'm Greg Lloyd. Breaking news, and right off the top, the verdict, as we said, is in the Derek Chauvin trial. Now, right now, the whole world, along with Minneapolis, is awaiting that verdict. You see people there gathered around in George Floyd Square outside of the courthouse as well, waiting to see the verdict returned by the jury. That's a live shot of the courtroom where any moment the judge is supposed to come back and the jury let in and that final verdict will be read. What we do know is that it took about 2 days and a span of 10 hours for deliberation. And we also know that this is highly unusual in such a high profile case for a verdict to come back so quickly. And so we will continue to stay on top of this story, and the moment we know what that verdict is, we will bring it to you on this developing story. Again, the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. Now we turn our attention to local government, and the Brookdale Warming Center could come under new leadership. That's something on the agenda for tonight's Bibb County Commission meeting. Our Joe Spear has been reading the details of that agenda. And Joe, what can you tell us about it so far?
Well, Greg, as part of a new business item, the mayor sponsored a resolution regarding the sale and purchase of the warming center at the former Brookdale Elementary School. The resolution would allow the mayor to authorize that purchase with the Bibb County Board of Public Education. Right now, the price for the school is set at $1.5 million. That money would come from the CARES Act. The following item on new business would appropriate $100,000 also from the CARES Act for operating costs for the warming center. Commission starts at 6 this evening, so tune into our shows later tonight and our website for details on what happens with the sale. Greg?
All right, Joe, thank you for that. Also, a penny sales tax for road improvements was back on the docket for Monroe County commissioners this morning, this time to discuss what projects that money would fund. Our Aaron Wise was in the meeting today. And Aaron, what did commissioners have to say?
Well, Greg, a part of that process to get the penny sales tax back on the ballot in November is to decide what projects those funds will be used for. The state designates 6 uses for T-SPLOST funds, from constructing new roads to patching and widening them, just to name a few. The Monroe County Commission intends to focus on one type of improvement that will be renovation of roads, streets, bridges, and sidewalks, including resurfacing. What roads will be worked on will be based on the 2020 road evaluation guide, as the T-SPLOST didn't pass last year.
You'll recall we labeled them 1 through 4, 1 being the worst. He is reviewing that list, and I'm quite confident that several of the roads that were lower down in the ranking are going to move up, because we've not been able to do a lot of road resurfacing work for lack of funds.
The list of roads will be presented to the commission on May 18th. Commissioner Eddie Rowland says the list presented is not set in stone, it's just a guide to go off of. Another commissioner spoke out against the plan to fill in the gap of funding between now and when the T-SPLOST is set to go into action, which is in April. You'll hear that in the next half hour. Reporting live, Aaron Wise, WGXA News.
Aaron, thank you. And in statewide headlines, Home Depot is under fire. The company headquarters in Georgia has yet to oppose the state's controversial new voting law. Governor Brian Kemp speaking out today in support of the company.
They did not ask to be in this political fight. It's unfair to them and their families and their livelihoods to be targeted.
Now, on the other hand, a group of faith-based leaders in Georgia are calling for a boycott of Home Depot. The coalition says Home Depot failed to uphold its corporate responsibility.
The reason why we're standing outside of Home Depot is because we feel grave injustice is taking place, not just across the street, but around the country, from failing to operate in integrity from a corporation.
Now, other major Georgia corporations such as Coca-Cola and Delta have spoken out against the new voting law. Home Depot releasing a statement saying all elections should be accessible, fair, and secure, and support broad voter participation. We're going to go right now live to Minneapolis, where we understand the verdict is about to be read.
All rise for the jury. All right, please be seated. Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict. Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court File Number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 44, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 52, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 55, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 79, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 85, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 89, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 91, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 92, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Are these your verdicts, so say you one, so say you all?
Yes. Yes.
Members of the jury, I find that the verdicts as read reflect the will of the jury and will be filed accordingly. I have to thank you on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota for not only jury service, but heavy-duty jury service. What I'm going to ask you to do now is to follow the deputy back into your usual room, and I will join you in a few minutes to answer questions and to advise you further. So, all rise for the jury. All right, be seated. With the guilty verdicts returned, we're going to have Blakely, you may file a written argument as to Blakely factors within 1 week. The court will issue findings on the Blakely factors, the factual findings, 1 week after that. We'll order a PSI immediately, returnable in 4 weeks. And we will also have a briefing on, after you get the PSI, 6 weeks from now, and then 8 weeks from now we will have sentencing. We'll get you the exact dates in a scheduling order. Is there a motion on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, the state would move to have the court revoke the defendant's bail and remand him into custody pending sentencing.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff. Anything further?
All
right. Thank you.
The jury has spoken in the Derek Chauvin trial. Not one, not two, but 3 guilty verdicts. Guilty on all the charges against him, unanimously decided by the jury after deliberating over a period of approximately 10 hours over 2 days. Unanimous verdict, and you might have just heard there, the judge says that Derek Chauvin will remain in custody pending his sentencing. So he will not be going home. He's going right back to jail. WGXA News at 5 continues in just a moment.